loves, and welcome to another vlog. I accidentally skipped a week of vlogging. By the time I realized that I should be vlogging, it was a little too late. And yeah, I just got out of the shower, so my hair is kind of stringy a bit here. Anyway, I have read quite a bit, but we'll just catch up in my monthly wrap up. However, I do have to talk about one book in particular, Immortal Dark. Oh my gosh, this book was so good. 5 stars. I loved it. I went into it, I got the arc of it, and I was like, you know, dark academia is not my thing, but vampires are, dark fantasy is. And so I was kind of intrigued, but hesitant, and oh my gosh, so good, so good. The characters in this were so good. The plot was so good. The vampire aspect of the book was so good. We have vampires, and then we have like these companions who kind of have to learn how to exist with these vampires, be their companions, be the blood source for them. However, the people that are the companions have the power in this world just a little bit, so it's very confusing. And I mean, it took me a little while to understand where they were going with that, but once I settled into it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I love this. Yes, please. I need more, and I need more now. And it was an arc, so I have to wait so long. A couple of things before we get into the book I will be starting this vlog with. We are doing like a mood reading vlog. I'm very much in the mood to mood read. I don't like being tied down to a TBR, and my TBR this month is short, so I do have some things that I plan to read from the TBR, but also I want to venture outside of it. So, you know, we'll get there. First order of housekeeping. I had a poll pick in my TBR game. If you guys haven't watched that, I'll link it down below. But my Discord has voted, and Some Desperate Glory is going to be the book that I read for the poll pick from my Discord. Look at that. How does this always happen? My whole book is mashed. Anyway, this is one I have been looking forward to for quite some time. It says, a thrillingly told queer space opera about the wreckage of war, the family you find, and who you must become when every choice is stripped from you. Some Desperate Glory is Astounding Award winner and Crawford Award finalist Emily Tesch's debut novel. I'm just so very, very excited for this. I love Lyndon A. Lewis, Essa Hansen, Megan E. O'Keefe. You can probably see all of them right behind me. And I feel like this is probably going to be written in that same vein, and very much looking forward to it. But the book that I'm going to start reading is Darkwater Daughter. Now, this has been recommended to me by my friend Izzy. She did warn me that the plot in this is kind of messy, and that's something that I tend to not enjoy. So I am going into this knowing that, and hopefully that will stop me from being too harsh on it. But I've been looking forward to this one for quite some time. And if I remember correctly, we have a woman who can control hurricanes, control water, has water magic, I guess that's the way to look at it, or storm magic. And she steals something from someone very powerful. That person is now after her, and they wage war on the high seas. That's what I know, like the gist of this book, and I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. I did read Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long and really loved it. However, I didn't like the second book in that series, and I just didn't like the direction that it went in. It took what I didn't like about the first book and expanded upon it. And so I was just kind of like, this is not where I wanted this to go. I wanted to talk about the rest of what happened like in the first book, not this part. And so what can you do? That I will be starting probably later on. I do have my nephew's birthday party to go to, and we have my book of the month box. So I'm very excited about these books. There were finally choices that I wanted that came up in the monthly choices. And let's see. Of course, this one would be on top. If you know anything about me, you will know why I had to pick this. I am obsessed with Gothic and skulls. And hello, okay, my shirt says dead inside. It was a really awkward angle, but sorry. The only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. This is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I'd never heard of this. And then Book of the Month offered it, and I was like, what is that? Phantasma only has 2 rules: stay alive and don't fall in love. When Ophelia discovers her mother's brutally murdered, there's no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and an enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly, however, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive, and the victor is granted a single wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win, but Phantasma is a cursed manor full of twisting corridors, lavish ballrooms, staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations, and Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed if her fears don't overtake her first. Oh my gosh. A competition inside a essentially haunted house? Yes, please. I'm excited. I do know that this is tagged as romantasy on Goodreads, but that often really doesn't mean anything. But look at this. It's done kind of like the Books of Babel by Josiah Bancroft. Like, I'm so ready for that. I think that this is going to be fun, a little thrilling, a little scary, a little sexy. That's kind of what I'm hoping for from this, but I could not pass this up. And if you guys don't know, I really want a tattoo. I do have one, but I really want another one, and I'd love for it to be like a skulls and roses motif. So very excited for those. And then the one that I'm going to get to very soon, probably within this vlog, if not next vlog, A Song to Drown Rivers. I've been dying to get to this one. I've been dying to read it. It says, inspired by the legend of Zixi, one of the famous 4 beauties of ancient China, A Song to Drown Rivers is an epic novel steeped in myth about womanhood, war, sacrifice, and love against all odds as the fate of 2 kingdoms hangs in the delicate balance. Zixi's beauty is seen as a blessing to the villagers of Yu, convinced that the best fate for a girl is to marry well and support her family. When Zixi draws the attention of the famous young military advisor fondly, he presents her with a rare opportunity to use her beauty as a weapon, one that could topple the rival neighboring kingdoms of Wu, improve the lives of her people, and avenge her sister's murder. All she has to do is infiltrate the enemy's palace as a spy. Yes. I am dying to get to this one. This has a really velvety cover. Like, did not expect that from Book of the Month. They usually have like standard covers, but oh, I like this. And it's got like a foiling on it. Very pretty, very pretty. But ever since I've heard the synopsis for this book, I've been dying to get to it. And then Book of the Month offered it, and then I got the ARC. So I will be listening to this ASAP. Very, very excited for it. And one of my favorite books of, I believe it was last year, it could have been 2 years ago, was Malice by Heather Walter. And so when I saw there was a new release from Heather Walter, The Crimson Crown, I had to get it. And luckily, Book of the Month had it. Before the apple was poisoned, before the mirror was cursed, a witch became a queen, and a queen became a villain. Her story has been shrouded in shadow, but now she will rise. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And this cover has so many little cool elements on it. There's the apple and the crow, the roses, the shattered mirror. I'm loving this cover. Heather Walter, she wrote a Sleeping Beauty retelling, and it was really, really good. Malice was the first one. I'll insert the picture here. And I loved that book. And now we are going to tackle the Evil Queen and Snow White. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, and let's see. Back for more. I do wish they wouldn't have changed the bookmarks, because they used to say something across the entirety of this, but they've just been putting like little blips at the top. That's just a me thing, and I'm not a fan of change. So, you know, all of these books I do think would be great for the coming months. So very excited, very excited. But like I said, I'm going to start this vlog with Darkwater Daughter, and I have my nephew's party tonight, so I don't know how far I will get into this today, but I'm hoping I will finish it within the next few days. fresh out of the shower with my little nope, not today hoodie on. I am checking in. As you guys can tell by what I posted previous to this, I spent most of yesterday playing Dragon Age Origins. I am romancing Alistair because why not? And it got to the adorable part of where he's trying to tell you that he likes you, and I love that part of the game. So yay. Also, we're in the deep roads. I didn't read a ton. However, I did get to chapter 20, page 187 of Darkwater Daughter this morning. And I have to say, Izzy was right. The plot in this is very messy. I'm not the biggest fan of the way this is written, and this is a problem I had with the second book of Hall of Smoke. I can't remember the name of the book, the second book, because it has the first and the third on here, but not the second one. I don't know why. Anyway, the thing I didn't like about the second book is we had no sense of the plot, and this is doing the same thing where we have no sense of the plot. Now, I do like some of these characters. Some of them, I don't think they're very fleshed out, and so I can't even say that this book is character driven. I would almost say this and Hall of Smoke are lore driven, which I've never really encountered before, but I think H.M. Long does it a lot. And it's kind of like world building to the extreme, if you want to say that it's anything other than plot or character. And like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of that. And then this says immersive from start till the end. This is a hard one to put down, by Sulin Tan. I've heard the same thing about Sulin Tan's books. So I just kind of wonder if it's not necessarily me, but this style of writing I don't jive with. I don't know. However, I'm still enjoying it. I'm like, no point have I thought I was going to DNF this. And I do think that this is going to hit at like a 3.5, like a high 3-star. And if it's a high 3-star, I can see myself continuing, especially since I know what the second book is called, and it is alluded to in this book already. So I don't know. We'll see. I have thought about starting Six Scorched Roses because Carissa Broadbent, she wrote a novella that's kind of interspersed between the Crowns of Nyaxia, and I've heard very, very good things about that, and it's been intriguing me. Also, I purchased the Crowns of Nyaxia and Six Scorched Roses recently, and I forgot to haul it, but I forgot to haul it because the person I bought it from left all the tabs in for all 3 books, and so I meant to take them out, but then I decided, oh, I might want to see what they tabbed, because I'm always interested in seeing that, and we were talking about doing that with the Patreon, and we have not started doing that yet. One of my patrons has the book that we were all going to annotate. So I thought about just picking up my own copy and sending it off, but they also have been traveling out of the country too. So there's kind of priorities taking place here, and why we haven't started that. I have also wanted to start like the Immortality Thief. My brain is going in 50 different directions, and I don't think it wants to focus on this because this is not the writing style that I like. So I don't know. I might pick up something else. I might even pick up The God and the Gumiho, because if I could bounce back and forth between these two, it might be good. I don't know. I need to finish this one though. I've gotten to the point where I don't like reading a whole lot of books at once. I used to do that, especially whenever I could read ebooks. I'd have an audio, an ebook, and a physical. Lately, it's immersive reading or physical reading when I can, or nothing. My ADHD doesn't seem to want to do anything else other than immersive read. So, which is going to be interesting when I get to A Tie to Black Steel, because it's an arc and I only have it physically. So I've also thought about picking up like Mazes of Power. I think my brain wants sci-fi. And I know Some Desperate Glory is what everyone picked for me. So maybe I should focus on that and not other things. But like I said, my brain's going in 50 different directions, so I'm not really sure what to do. Also, I'm very tired, but it's my allergies. My allergies are going crazy to the point I was sitting down listening to my book, and because I was so relaxed, I was snoring, but I was awake. Like, I was still listening and I was still focused on the book, but I could hear myself snoring. I had noise canceling headphones on and I could hear myself snoring, and I'm like, okay, what the heck is that? But yeah, my allergies are going absolutely insane right now. I'm also sitting here staring at my big old stack of dark fantasy that I really want to get to. So hopefully, I might pick up Godblind too. I did put that on my poll pick and no one picked it except for one person. One person picked it outside of voting on the Discord because it's been the longest book, or the longest, it's been on my TBR the longest. Why can't I speak right now? and I also want to show you guys something. You hear booktubers talk about this a lot, and I have ADHD. So there's times when I get mid-project and then I stop because my brain decides that's not what it wants to do anymore. This is the current state of my library. Like, and there's my puppy dog. But yeah, I got mid-project and quit. You might recognize that as being some of the books that I talked about in a previous video, but yeah. Or my book haul, my enemies to lovers video. That's what all of those books are. And my fan is like blowing my hair in my face. Anyway, that's all the updates I have for you right now. I don't know. I don't have any plans this week either, so I don't know what I'm going to toss in for B-roll, but we'll see. We'll see. I think I'm just too tired right now to think about anything else. And like I said, my allergies going nuts. My brain's going in 50 different directions. I don't know what I'm going to do. All right. I'll check in with you guys later. Hey guys, today we are playing a game of musical chords here. So I do not have my microphone plugged in. I'm going to try and speak loudly. I don't have a voice that's high pitched, so speaking loudly, I don't know how it comes across to you guys. So yesterday I did not film any of me reading because I had some insomnia, and I'm telling you guys, you don't want to see me when I'm super tired. It's not good. And I kind of have an issue with my brain not processing words enough to make them come out of my mouth. Like, I understand things process in my brain when I'm reading, things like that when I have insomnia, but it is a disconnect between my brain and my mouth. So I really couldn't talk yesterday. I had so many issues just trying to say simple things. I went to my son's therapy appointment and they were asking me questions and I was like, huh? Like, the words would not form in my brain and come out of my mouth. Like, I understood what they asked me, but everything I kept having to re-say what I was saying over and over, and that did not make for good recording. So I do have a few updates. I finished The God and the Gumiho, and let me tell you, we have another contender for the Raylo enemies to lovers level tier. However, I said that in my enemies to lovers video. Top tier Raylo, hello. So we have a nine-tailed fox, a Gumiho, and a God of Mischief who have kind of been forced to work together. And this is after our little nine-tailed fox, Gumiho, she decides to throw coffee on him, iced coffee. So not anything that was going to be like painful, but kind of disrespectful, maybe a lot disrespectful. And he decides immediately, he's like, I don't like this girl, I don't like her. And so I loved their dynamic. Whenever something starts to go wrong, it's thought that the Scarlet Fox has returned. I almost said Crimson Fox because I was thinking Crimson Moth. Anyway, when the Scarlet Fox is been thought to return, we find out, well, that's our main character. That's the person that we're talking about. It's not spoilery because that's something that happens very early on in here. And she talks about being this entity, but our main character is after the Scarlet Fox. And so she joins forces with him to take down the other big bads of this city that have been emerging, and kind of distracts him from going after the Scarlet Fox. And it becomes very much a grumpy sunshine kind of romance, even though they're both kind of grumpy, but they're both very clever. And I love that because it's not a dynamic that you see very often. I have been asking everywhere I can think of for like Suits-like characters, like characters from Suits in a different form. This gives me Donna and Harvey vibes so hard, so hard. I really, really love that about this. And it has a very surprising ending, I have to say. I didn't see it coming, but I did see it coming, and I loved it. I loved it. I gave this 4.5 stars, and I do think this has, like, it's in contention for one of my favorites of the year. I know I've gotten, I know I have given some 5 stars recently that are better than this, but are they? Are they? That's where I keep going back and forth. Are they better than this? I think just enjoyment-wise, no, they're not. Writing-wise, character-wise, yeah, they probably are. I just don't know. I don't know. Anyway, 4.5 for this one, but definitely might change my mind later to a 5-star, and definitely in contention for one of the best books of the year. And I was trying to keep myself awake last night so that I didn't go to bed too early and end up kind of in the same position I was the night before, where I wake up at 4:30 a.m., you know, and then just don't have anything to do, and then my brain doesn't want to function. Anyway, I read The Pram by Joe Hill. I should have checked trigger warnings for this, and I should have looked into some of the reviews because it hit a little close to home, and there were things I was like, oh, I did not need to be reading that before I went to bed. So I was back and forth on what to rate it. I hated it. But because of my personal like issues with it and dredging up some things for me, I hated it, but it was a well-written story. So I gave it 3 stars because I didn't feel like it was fair to give it any lower because it's creepy. It's definitely horrific. I just was like, oh, no, not for me, not for me. This story is part of the Creature Features short story collection on Amazon. You can download them for free, Kindle or audio. And so I was really excited to get this little collection because it's like Joe Hill, Grady Hendrix, a few others, but they were all authors I was interested in reading from. I think one of them might be Josh Malerman, but yeah, so I plan to read those over the course of the next few months and just kind of delve into some horror short stories. But after that, I switched it up and started reading A Song to Drown Rivers. Now, I do have the ALC, so no, I haven't opened up this book, but I'm like 70% into it, and it's a short book. I really like this. I really like this. I don't think it's going to be 5 stars. I think it's a solid 4 though, and it is everything that I wanted this book to deliver. I just think that I could have read a whole lot more of this story, and I got a lot more out of it. So I'm bummed that it's not longer. That's kind of where I'm going with that. Like, I really would have loved to see these characters in more detail. I really would have liked to see these relationships in more detail. And I get why we're not going to delve into everything, but it glosses over a few things that I feel like could have made this 5 stars instead of just like mentioning it here and there and saying this happened, kind of seeing the repercussions for certain things happening. But you know, I'm still really enjoying this. So like I said, yeah, I think it's going to be 4 stars. I have a little bit left to read, so I will have to check in with you guys later to give you an official rating. But so far so good, and I'm enjoying this whole mood reading thing. It's not often that I do this, especially for a vlog. Usually if I vlog, I have a purpose, I have a plan, I have recommendations from somebody. And so it's really nice. It's really nice, I have to say. And I'm reading quite a bit, much more than I expected to. So maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. So I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I don't know if I want to stick with this like Asian fantasy thing I've got going on right now, because this is also Asian fantasy, if you didn't know. Well, I guess this kind of hints to that. But I do have The Night Ends with Fire on my TBR for the month. So I might read that. I also have The Arc of Air by Saba Tahir and The Arc of Tide of Black Steel by Anthony Ryan. So I need to get those done. And I also have another arc. I'm not going to mention the arc title, but I've heard from a few people I'm not going to like it. And so I'm kind of like, do I actually want to read it? Because I'm picky, man. I am picky, and I know myself. I know I will be the one to be like, oh, it's crap. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. So yeah. Not really sure what I'm going to read next. I do also have horror store that I want to get to. Obviously, all the books that are on my dark fantasy list, all of the books that are on my seasonal spooky challenge, I want to get to all of those. And I did end up reading The Spite House last week, so when I didn't vlog. So I do have one book marked off for my seasonal spooky challenge, but that's it. And I do have Bury Your Gaze on hold from the library, and I do have episode 13 that I've had for a while that I would like to get to. So there, I have options. I have lots of options, and don't know where I'm gonna go post this book, but we'll see. We'll see. If you can hear my husband sneezing, I am sorry. But I just don't know what to do post to this book, like I said. But I will check in with you guys once I either finish this book or I pick up another book. And I don't have anything else planned for the week either, so I'm struggling. I'm struggling for that B-roll, guys. I know I need to find something to entertain you between my ranting and raving, but yeah, no plans. I'll see you guys later. All right, hello. Today we're going to do a somewhat get ready with me type clip because I need to talk to you guys about my August wrap up. Okay, so I know I am kind of hem-hawing here, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I am one of those people who does not do a worst books of the year video. I don't do it because I somewhat enjoy watching them, especially when they are from a booktuber that I don't agree with, because sometimes that gives you recommendations, right? This is my new toner, by the way, and I really like it. I had a spray on toner before. Anyway, so I don't like watching those very much unless, like I said, they're from a booktuber that I disagree with. I don't like making them because I don't like just bashing on books for an entire video. That seems very highly tedious to me. It's just, why? I don't get why people enjoy it. Oh, my hood just fell off. Yeah, I just, it's not fun for me. And in thinking of what I read in August, I can think of 4 books that I enjoyed of the like 12 that I read. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, so the books I didn't DNF, I gave 3 stars. So I've been delaying. I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk about it. This is very rude. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's why I've been delaying. I don't want to talk about books that I didn't like. And I don't want to do videos where I'm just sitting around bashing books. I'm going to post it. I'm going to record it. That's why I'm getting ready right now. I just, maybe the pink will make people happy. I don't know. I might have a dark soul, but I also really like pink. So that's why you guys see me wear it a lot. I don't want to talk about the books that make me unhappy. I don't want to talk about the books I just didn't like. Some of them just weren't my jam. So it's not like they were bad books. They just weren't the books for me. I'm also debating. I got new makeup, like makeup. Do I want to put on a full face of makeup today? We'll see. We'll see when we get there. Anyway, so my August wrap up is going to be a hard video for me to make because, like I said, I don't like bashing books. And well, I get that a lot of people get a lot of joy out of making worst books of the year content because sometimes it's fun to be salty. And sometimes you do read some genuinely poorly written, just awful books. We all try to avoid those as much as possible, but it happens. It happens. I don't think I can be bothered with a full face of makeup. That's typical for me. Like, not being able to have the spoons to care about a full face of makeup. I take really good care of my skin. Why should I cover it up? I don't know. Anyway, I finished A Song to Drown Rivers. I don't have it with me, obviously, because I'm in my bathroom and I don't want to mess up the book. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the book. It gave me, like, exactly what I was wanting. I just think that it was too quick. I think it was too short. I think that had we had time to get to know the characters better, had we had time to really develop the plot and the vengeance story a little bit more keenly, I would have liked it a lot more. The thing is, it's hard to be invested in a revenge plot when all you know is X killed X. That's it. That's all you know. And obviously they're at war, so sure, some atrocities have happened, but you're not invested in it just yet. You know, you don't have those ties to it to be like, all right, I can see where we're going with this. I'm all about this revenge plot. This is going to work out great. This person is the best person for the job, you know. None of that was established. And so it kind of reads just like this person is telling you this story and not like this is the story. I mean, that's hard to explain. You know, you sit down to listen to a folktale and you get the gist of it. And that's basically all you get. There's not a whole lot of extra filler, which I don't like filler, but you know, there's not a lot of meat to the story. And I felt like that's how this read. But it was good, and the story was good, the plot was good. It moved fairly quickly, and I like the idea of a femme fatale. Always love that idea. And I think it played off well in this story. So I'm going to give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I don't know what I'm going to read next, so that will be a surprise in the next clip, I believe. And I guess I'm going to go film my August wrap up, as much as I really just don't want to. See you guys in that video. All right, guys. So to finish out this vlog, I did finish Dark Water Daughter. This I wasn't too interested in at first. I know I made it seem like I wasn't enjoying it. I said I was, but it seemed like I wasn't. And you would be correct. I wasn't enjoying this. I thought the first part of this was really hard to get into. The writing was very verbose, so descriptive. Sorry, I didn't realize how dry my lips were until I started recording. And then I was like, oh, I need some moisture on my lips. Okay. So I was not able to get into this very quickly. And I was like, what is going on? So my allergies have been acting up a lot. And I realized my allergy brain fog was lending to me not liking this. I set it aside and I started reading other things. And I was like, you know what? I don't want this to end up on my pile of shame. So let's go back to it. And I did. And from that point on, I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know if it is because I picked this up where the action picked back up or what, but the second half of this book was so incredibly enjoyable. And I do think that it was possibly just the brain fog from my allergies that made me not like this in the beginning. And so I do plan to continue with this series. I really liked the relationship between Mary and Samuel, and I really liked the introduction of Samuel's twin and how that plays a role. And I really liked finding out what was up with Mary in the first place. So I found this just to be one of those books that initially maybe wouldn't have been for me. Or I think if someone pitched this to me, like Izzy, for example, she would probably say, I don't know if you're going to like this or not, but I hope you will. And the reason for that is because of the messy plot. We talked about that earlier. The verbose language, I can see, why that would put me off because I don't like King for that very reason. And this is highly, highly descriptive. That is something my brain was not liking in the beginning of this book. And so, again, brain fog. I think it was my allergy brain fog. But this is another 4-star. So I'm very excited with how this mood reading vlog turned out. I've got Darkwater Daughter, Song to Drown Rivers, and The God and the Gumiho, either 4 stars or above. And then, of course, I read The Pram, which was not the best idea. Again, check trigger warnings, guys, especially with these creature features, because I've heard things about the other ones, which is why I started with this one. But yeah. Also, I feel very bright today in my little tie-dye shirt. That's neither here nor there, right? So I think I might just continue this month with another mood reading vlog because this has gone so well. So well. I am in the mood for some heavier fantasy, so I think I might pick up the Sapphire Altar to begin my next vlog. Or Godblind. I think I'm going to go Sapphire Altar and then Godblind because I do need to continue that series. I want to make sure I'm finishing series, and Godblind is the start of a series. And I don't really have a big push to, oh, my series that I'm reading has to be below this point. And, I'm not concerned about that. I will finish them. It might take me a little while, but I will finish them. And the sci-fi thing I had nigging at me kind of left. Not that I don't want to read sci-fi, but I'm not feeling some desperate glory just yet. So we'll see how the next vlog goes. But I really, really enjoyed my reading this last week. So, oh, and I did put my new makeup on, so I hope it looks good. In the viewfinder here, I'm kind of pale, but it's not too bad, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I like it. That is it for my video today. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.